Thank you. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the Kent County Board of Commissioners Finance and Infrastructure Committee. Our first item on the agenda is public comment. If there's anyone from the public who wishes to comment this morning. Good morning, Dee.
Do I actually get 2 minutes or 3 minutes? Thank you, I appreciate that. How y'all doing? I'm D. Jones, and I'd like to speak to y'all about finance and infrastructure. So as you guys know, I'm a big supporter of cryptocurrency and digital assets because I understand that the Rothschilds and Rockefellers have created something called the Federal Reserve, and I don't like how they run the Federal Reserve and how they enslave other countries and bomb other countries and commit genocide and put them under our banking notes. So with this cool decentralized asset, I was able to launch my own cryptocurrency called the Jump Ahead Cash. I'm super excited because it actually has real utility use for education, gaming, esports, 3D printing, construction, and everyday commerce. And so I'm also excited because on September 10th, I'll be speaking at the Michigan Department of Environment and Great Lakes and Energy on the benefits of 3D printing construction at the first Michigan Environmental Sustainability Conference. So I'm super excited to speak about this because I spoke to you guys about economics and us increasing economic activity, and I believe that our county does play a part in the future of our economy. As I said, I am a huge supporter of digital assets and cryptocurrencies, but I like for our fiscals to be actually used to really increase economic activity for people of all backgrounds, all ethnicities, and I'm just sick of people struggling. The economy is hard. As you guys, I happen to choose to put a ballot initiative to actually choose, to increase the services of our jails, and I do believe the services of our jails do need to be increased, but I also think that our economy needs to work for every constituent, and that you guys actually serve the constituents and listen to constituents, because too often I've been here at Kent County Board and I've heard the constituents say that they like to see one thing, or your county staff say that they like for one project to be funded, and then those projects aren't funded because of parties, because of the Democratic Party wants one thing, and then the Republican actually wants another thing, and then the Republicans have more people on that party on our board, and then those things don't get funded. So I just ask that you guys really listen to the constituents, the people that elect you into these offices, because they all have a voice. A lot of people did show up because Chris Packler did put that out there, and there should have been other people in transparency and official government documentations and public releases about these ballot proposals, because it shouldn't just be one commissioner getting out there and voicing their frustration about this proposal. And so I'm just asking you guys just to be transparent as a full government, to just put those initiatives out there so the constituents can also get feedback besides general Facebook posts. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to comment this morning? Okay, seeing none, I do want to note that we are going to skip the special order of business this morning due to the length of our previous meeting. We are going to reschedule Dale, I think, for the next meeting or two, and he was receptive to that, as well as he wanted to continue his day along. So we will move on to agenda item number 4, the consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Halstead, supported by Commissioner Sparks. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda this morning? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are on to our action items. The first one comes to us from Human Resources, 2027 Management Pay Plan Pay Changes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The action requested is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve requested updates to pay ranges, wages, and pay practices in the MPP, which includes approximately 343 clerical professional management positions. Specifically, the action would increase the pay structure by 4% and also allow employees who are not yet at the E step, or the step where it caps out, to progress to the next step in the grade wherever they're at. Allow the use of only the reserve sick leave bank to supplement workers' comp income benefits, and increase the shift differential for employees whose schedule shift begins at 2 p.m. or later from 50 cents an hour to $1 per hour.
Thank you, Al. Is there a motion for this item?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Hildebrand. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Coleman. Questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Pakla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think I have a general question on many of the agenda items ahead, and it's just recognizing that these are negotiations. Were there anything in the negotiations that we should be aware of as we're thinking of this? Were these, amenable conversations? Are they being brought to us in good faith, I guess is the question.
Hi, good morning. So this first action request is actually for our non-represented group, so there was no negotiation there, but yeah, I don't think they will object, and I would anticipate they will be happy with the outcome of, if you approve this action request. The others, they were all negotiations of a very narrow wage reopener, which has to do with the wage increase for either 1 or 2 years remaining in the contract. And we did come to agreement with the unions, and the employees did vote to ratify and approve the recommendations for those.
With the exception of one.
Yeah, there is one still outstanding, and that's our corrections union. So we're still working to hopefully come to agreement on that.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Thank you. Okay, seeing no additional discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are on to item B from Human Resources, 2027 wage increase, Kent County Prosecuting Attorney Association.
Yes, and the action requested is to apply the same 4% wage increase for all members of the Kent County Prosecuting Attorney Association for 2027. This group represents 37 Kent County employees.
Is there a motion for this item?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Hildebrand. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Halsted. Questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. On to item C from Human Resources, 2027-2028 wage increases, technical, professional, and office workers association of Michigan courts.
Yes, the action requested here is to apply a 4% wage increase for 2027 and a 3% wage increase for 2028 for all members of the Technical, Professional, and Office Workers Association of Michigan. And this group represents approximately 360 employees of the 17th Judicial Circuit Court, Kent County Probate Court, and 63rd District Court.
Is there a motion for this item? Moved by Commissioner Sparks, supported by Vice Chair Hildebrand. Questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are on to item D from Human Resources, 2027 wage increase, Circuit Court Referee Association.
Yes, action requests would be to approve a 4% wage increase for all members of the Circuit Court Referee Association for 2027. And this group represents approximately 8 Kent County employees.
Is there a motion for this item?
Motion.
Moved by Commissioner Womack, supported by Vice Chair Hildebrand. Questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. On to item E from Human Resources, 2027 wage increase, Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council.
Action requested that the Board of Commissioners approve an increase in the base wage equal to 4% plus $1,000 for all members of the Fraternal Order of Police Labor Council for 2027. This group represents approximately 299 Kent County employees who work in road patrol or emergency communications.
Is there a motion for this item? Moved by Commissioner Sparks. Is there support? Supported by Vice Chair Hildebrand. Questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. On to item F from Human Resources, 2027-2028 wage increases for the Teamsters and nurses.
The action requested is for the Board of Commissioners to approve a 4% wage increase for 2027 and a 3% wage increase for 2028 for all members of the Teamsters, State, County, and Municipal Workers Local 214, which are our nurses, and the group represents approximately 67 Kent County employees.
Motion.
Moved by Commissioner Womack, supported by Commissioner Sparks. Questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. On to item G from Human Resources, 2027 wage increase Teamsters, state, county, and municipal workers, Local 214 Parks.
And the recommendation is that the board approve a 4% wage increase for all members of the Teamsters, State, County, and Municipal Workers Local 214, which is our Parks Department and represents approximately 18 Kent County employees.
Is there a motion for this item? Moved by Commissioner Sparks. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Womack. Questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. On to item H from Human Resources, 2027 wage increase, police officers, labor council, captains and lieutenants.
Action requested that the Board of Commissioners approve an increase in the base wage equal to 4% plus $1,000 for all members of the Police Officers Labor Council, which is our captains and lieutenants, for 2027. And this group represents approximately 30 Kent County employees.
Is there a motion for this item?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Hildebrand. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Green. Questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. On to item I from Human Resources, 2027-2028 wage increases, United Auto Workers Local 2600.
The action requested is that the Board of Commissioners approve a 4% wage increase for 2027 and a 3% wage increase for 2028 for all members of the UAW Local 2600, which represents approximately 445 Kent County employees.
Is there a motion for this item?
Motion.
Moved by Commissioner Womack. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Halsted. Questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Coleman.
My comment is not really on this particular item, but just on the sequence that we just went through here for what I'm sure is a large number watching on the live stream. These details have been engaged previously, but it's also, I think, just evidence that while I'm certain we could get in and, quibble about some of the details, in the percentages or whatnot, but we really have a great team, led by Amy and all her team, working through and just negotiating in good faith with all of our represented employees, and just leads to this very smooth and easy process that we just went through. So I appreciate it.
Are there any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. On to item J from the 17th Circuit Court, fiscal year 2026, Quality Legal Guardian Ad Litem Grant Budget Amendment.
Yes, the recommendation is for the Board of Commissioners to accept and appropriate an additional $127,000 from the MDHHS to the FY26 Quality Legal Guardian Ad Litem Grant Budget in the Special Projects Fund, and authorize the board chair to execute the agreement. And as typical, any increases are limited to 15% of the award. The summary, MDHHS provides funding to Kent County to provide improved legal representation to children and parents in child protective legal proceedings. The board appropriated $225,000 of MDHH funds to this program via Budget Resolution 828-2562, and MDHHS has since awarded the county additional money in the amount of $127,000 due to a redistribution of unused grant funds by the state, and they'll continue to be used for the purposes that they have been used for, bringing the total award to $352,000. And so the additional appropriation of $127,000 is recommended.
Is there a motion for this item? Moved by Commissioner Halsted. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Green. Questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. On to item K from the Drain Commissioner's Office, Duncan Lake Intercounty Drainage District Bond Series 2026.
All right. Action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to authorize pledging the county's full faith and credit to the issuance of Duncan Lake Intercounty Drain Districts Drain Bond Series 2026. Summary. Pursuant to a petition filed with the Drain Commissioner of the County of Kent, State of Michigan, proceedings have been taken by the Drainage Board for the Duncan Lake Intercounty Drain under the provisions of Act 40, Public Acts of Michigan, 1956, for the making of certain improvements to the Duncan Lake Intercounty Drain, which is being undertaken by the Duncan Lake Intercounty Drainage District. The Drainage Board intends to issue the Drainage District's bond or bonds in one or more series in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $4,475,000, bearing interest at a rate to be determined upon the sale of the bonds and maturing with the maximum terms permitted by law in anticipation of the collection of an equal amount of special assessments against property and public corporations in the counties of Kent, Berry, and Allegan, said special assessments to be duly confirmed as provided by the Act. The Drainage Board approved a computation of costs for the project that sets forth an estimated cost of $4,475,000, whereas 52% of the cost of the project has been apportioned by the Drainage Board to the County of Kent, 38% of the cost of the project has been apportioned by the Drainage Board to the County of Berry, and 10% of the cost of the project has been apportioned by the Drainage Board to the County of Allegan. The proposed resolution will authorize the pledge of the county's limited tax full faith and credit as backup security on the bonds to the extent of special assessments assessed against property and public corporations in the County of Kent and State of Michigan, and authorized officers, including the chairperson of the Board of Commissioners, the administrator, the county treasurer, and the fiscal services director, or any one of them, to execute a certificate of the county to comply with the continuing disclosure and to prepare and approve portions of the official statement that pertain to the county and the execution of all other documents as necessary in order to close on the issuance of the bonds. The resolution shall become effective only if the Board of Commissioners of the counties of Berry and Allegan each adopt a resolution that pledges the limited tax full faith and credit of each respective county to the payment of the principal of and interest on the bonds when due to the extent of their apportioned share of the cost of the project. Staff anticipates closing on the bonds in September 2026. Bond Council has reviewed and approved all documents.
Is there a motion for this item?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Hildebrand, supported by, is that Commissioner Merchant? Questions or comments on this item? Vice Chair Hildebrand.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just because our drain commissioner is here and I've known him a long time, I like him to earn his keep. And also, he's a little entertaining, you know, when he comes before the committee, and he knows a lot of this stuff. But Commissioner Yonker, thanks for being here. So Duncan Lake, I believe, is not even in Kent County, right? But
Correct.
the drainage, so is the majority of the drainage flows, because we have the majority.
The most acres of this district is in Kent County.
Okay, and it flows
Yeah,
south,
yeah.
it flows south
Yeah.
into the
Now,
lake.
I'd like to appeal this request because I'm in this district and I'm getting nailed to the tune of $4,000 on this one, so, yeah.
Boy,
It's my turn. It goes around, comes around.
yeah, I guess so. That's all I got. Great to see you.
That was easy.
Commissioner.
Commissioner Pacla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Don't sit down too much, or too quickly there, Commissioner. I've got a couple of follow-up questions for you. The first is, I know that the passage of these bonds is contingent upon Allegan County and Berry County also being a part of that. What have your conversations been with those boards?
Well, we had work together in an inter-county board meeting, so this thing was petitioned by Berry County Board of Commissioners, the Road Board Commissioners, and the residents on Duncan Lake. So it says originated by all the big swingers in Berry County, so I doubt they're gonna oppose it.
Yeah.
Now Allegan, they got a reason because they don't have anybody they just shed their water into it.
And your conversations with Allegan County so far, what have those been?
Yeah, because what goes, comes around there too, you know?
The other question I had was, I noticed, and I, again, appreciate the increased communication that your website is able to provide to our community. I noticed that the day of review and apportionment was last week, Thursday. Wondering if you have any updates on residents that came in, have conversations?
Well,
Is
you
it
see,
typical? Is it?
This one hits real home to me because I'm in this district, all right? And all my neighbors are getting hit. And most of them they're farmers, so some of those assessments are $100,000. So you can imagine I'm not the most well-liked guy in my neighborhood right now. But that just comes along with the job, you know, that happens. So, yeah, I mean, on the other hand, they know it has to happen. We gotta manage our stormwater, and if we don't start doing it now, it's cheaper now than it'll ever get. And when I leave, I wanna make sure we have as much storage capacity in our drains that I can get, because that's how we manage, and if we don't, doesn't matter how big a pipe I put in, we're gonna overwhelm the system. And that's what we're up against, so. And this system is one that, we got roads flooding every spring, we got public safety issues, we have culverts that have been upsized, but if we don't manage the runoff before the development hits, and that's what we're able to do. So to get the 8 acres for detention, right now is a lot cheaper than 20 years from now when it's all populated. You're gonna pay a lot more for that piece of ground. So opportunity is there, and I took it, and the other 2 counties have agreed to follow that path, so it'll be a benefit for us in the long term.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Thank you, Drain Commissioner Yonker. Seeing no additional discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. On to our final action item from the Administrator's Office, Capital Improvement Program Policy.
Action requested. Recommend to amend the fiscal policy capital improvement program to increase the annual deposit from the revenues generated from not less than 0.2 mils of the general property tax levy to not less than 0.3 mils of the general property tax levy. Summary. Per Kent County's governance structure, all policies and policy amendments must be approved by the Board of Commissioners unless otherwise stipulated by federal or state law. The Board of Commissioners shall consider policies as recommended by the Finance and Physical Resources Committee as a standing committee responsible for fiscal policy. The Board of Commissioners requires all county capital improvement replacement projects to be evaluated for funding within a framework of priorities and the financial capabilities of the county as part of a comprehensive budget process. The Capital Improvement Program, CIP, is the primary tool for evaluating physical improvement, tangible personal property or real property improvements to implement the county budget process. The CIP outlines the schedule of county needs over a 5-year period and contains funding recommendations on an annual basis. The requested amendment to the policy will become effective January 1, 2027, only if a majority of voters approve the November 3, 2026 general election proposal to renew and increase the Kent County Corrections and Detention millage.
Is there a motion for this item?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Hildebrand, supported by Commissioner Halsted. Questions or comments on this item? Vice Chair Hildebrand.
Thank you, Chair. Can we get an estimate, like, on what, in terms of total dollars increase that would be, given a year, like this year's revenue? I don't know what the 0.2 is now, and then what it would be if it went up to 0.3.
Looks like Scott won the arm wrestling battle with Keith to come up, so.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Happy to answer that for you. Currently at the 0.2, that's resulting in about an $8 million set aside. Raising it to 0.3 be about an additional $4 million to $12 million.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Pakla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question about the action item versus the information here. The last paragraph says that this is only going to change if we have a success in November 3rd. Do we need to spell that out in the action item, or is it sort of implied, or this is a direction to the Administrator's Office to update the policy? Just trying to ask for clarification about how it moves forward from here relative to something else having to happen.
What we would do is just put it in a file and basically take it to we'll take it to the Board of Commissioners from here, but then we'll hold it kind of in abeyance until the results of the millage are known, and then we'll simply implement it once we know that.
So really, this action item is to allow you to update
Correct.
versus directing you to update it immediately.
Well, it's directing us to update if the millage is successful.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Commissioner Coleman.
Thank you, Chair. I think this is a great idea. It puts in, our policy, just, some good long-term thinking in terms of capital needs relative to our earlier conversation this morning. And I do think it's also, very doable because even though our policy's been 0.2, we've been, probably closer to the 0.3, kind of year in and year out of what we've actually put into the capital funds. And so I think this is just a smart policy change. My one question is just if the policy goes into effect, next year, effectively it will impact just the fiscal 28 budgeting process, right? Like we wouldn't have to necessarily amend and come back to fiscal 27.
Right. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are on to item 6, commissioner comments. Are there any commissioner comments this morning? I think everybody had a lot of comments earlier, so I'm happy to see there aren't any, so that with that, we are adjourned.